Are we good to go? Okay. This is the regular meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission. Today is Thursday, November 21st, 2024. Seeing a quorum, the meeting is officially called to order. Madam Recording Secretary, please take roll call.
Commissioner McNair. Commissioner Russell.
Here.
Commissioner Wu.
Here.
Commissioner Lopez Guerra.
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, members of the public may address the Arts and Culture Commission regarding any non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the committee. No action will be taken on non-agenda items unless authorized by law. Does the public have any comments they wish to share with the commission? Please know that you have 3 minutes to speak. This is the time for the commission to consider matters under consent calendar, items 1 and 2. Do I have a motion to consider items 1 and 2?
I motion to approve.
I second. Thank you, Vice Chair Hernandez for the motion and Commissioner Russell for the second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Matter approved by unanimous consent. We have one item under the business calendar, item number 3, investing in the artist grant recommendations for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Will staff report on the matter? So we actually have 2 items under work study session instead. Please note that there will be no motion or action taken on these items. The first item under work study session is investing in the Artist Grant 2023 to 24 grantee presentations.
Thank you, Chair Wu. Here are some final presentations. Well, it's our honor to present the final presentations from our last round of artist grants. The first one up will be Alex Mascaro from Mariachi Los Santaneros.
Well, thank you so much for having us. I'm Alex Mascaro, the director of Mariachi Los Santaneros. The reason why I put that name for Los Santaneros is because I was born and raised here in Santa Ana. And we are very grateful for having this grant last year. And we are hoping to use this grant again for the next following year. Because I am a product of Santa Ana, I thought it would be great to create a small business based in the city. And this small business is the mariachi behind me, well, at least half of the group. And I've noticed that one thing that the city needs that will help economic development is music. Live entertainment tends to beautify many centers of any community. And walk into any establishment that's a business always has music. When it is live music, it tends to beautify and attract new guests. And usually those guests further develop the economic development. We've noticed in the past year with this grant that we have been able to not only invest into our group, but collaborate with local businesses, not limited to such as a Lingua, Forestry Marketplace, and more organizations in downtown Santa Ana. So our focus for the next grant is going to be collaborating specifically with local businesses, hopefully restaurants, so that way we can attract more guests to the downtown area. And we just want to say thank you by presenting one song with Mariachi Los Santaneros. We're going to go ahead and bring them up over here. Come on. Thank you so much. This song is called Son de la Negra with Mariachi Los Santaneros. Thank you.
Do we have any comments or questions from the commission? Well, as last year, you received funding to create burritos or songs collaborating with the community too. So you want to talk a little bit?
Yes, of course. So, corridos is a term that basically you can think of like a ballad. You're telling a story. And when you create stories, a lot of people tend to mystify and create legends of whatever they listen to. And since a lot of corridos tend to be really popular among our community, I thought it'd be really interesting to create something that would basically embody the spirit of Santana through music. So that was basically the focus of our grant last year. And another thing that we enjoyed doing a lot is allowing a lot of the guests, especially for like the Yard Walk. Maybe they've never seen a mariachi live or they've heard mariachi, but they've always wanted to sing with one. So we gave a lot of our guests the opportunity to sing with us during art walks. So that was a lot of the focus with our grant. And we're shifting the focus now to attract those same guests to businesses in Santa Ana, because again, music is a good way to beautify and further develop the economy. Music is just very important for a healthy economy. Yeah.
I have a question. Would you share with us, are you all from Santa Ana? And, did you benefit from any of the programs in the city that we should be aware of or acknowledge, in that way?
Did you want us to introduce ourselves and just talk about like the
Yes.
grant, how it's benefited us? Sure. Let's go ahead one by one. Yeah. I guess you can take a seat and speak into your ear.
Hi, I'm Brenda and I am 19 years old and I'm from Long Beach. I joined the group about a year ago in April. It's about to be 2 years this upcoming April, but I have learned so much and grew as a musician and as a person through music and mariachi.
Then we have our next member over here. And this isn't the full group. We're still missing a lot of musicians, but he's our next musician as well.
Hello, my name is Daniela. I've been in the mariachi for now, this is the third year. This is gonna be our third year. I guess something that has benefited for me, the opportunity to meet a lot of people, the opportunity to play music everywhere and present our group as a whole and as people that we're like to share our time to play music. And that's pretty much.
Hello, my name's Chris. I'm from Costa Mesa, and how it's benefited me from the art walk is that I get to meet like a lot of new musicians that are from Santa Ana. So like music wise, it's helped me through that. I'm meeting like a lot of people, a lot of musicians from the city.
So, and then our last guest.
Hello, my name is Manuel. I'm from Eastville, and the way it's helped me is that I get to learn more music with these people, you know, and yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mala. So, but yeah, and another thing that has helped benefit this, I'm actually a full-time music teacher with the school district as well. So my goal is to basically use mariachi music to teach music. And I feel like this grant has helped me reinvest into like that whole music education aspect of it. I've also noticed like looking through this agenda, there's like a lot of different organizations we're interested in collaborating with. One of them was the Food of Cinema, perhaps. We're just really excited to further invest into our city. Yeah, thank you so much. Any other last minute questions?
One more question, since you are involved in education, can you just share with us how mariachi, you can now letter, right? You can earn a letter, in mariachi, I believe, like, if you, like a sport, right? It has reached a status within the school systems. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So the really cool thing about mariachi music and public education, think about it in terms of jazz music. Maybe 100 years ago, and here in the United States, jazz is a product of the United States. And surprisingly, if you were to tell someone, "Oh, I play jazz in public education 100 years ago," like, well, we don't teach that here in the university. We don't do that. So, in a similar way, mariachi music has been treated as such that, oh, this is just a music, like, you know, they're not classically trained musicians, all this. However, we've noticed that the trend of mariachi has become more culturally relevant. We can use the music that is familiar to a lot of students in our school district and use that music to teach them, basically bridge a gap, what they know and what they don't know, and use that as a way to teach them music. And the whole letter grade thing about that, we do assign grades because now we have a way of basically assessing students what they're learning with mariachi music. So we're not necessarily just teaching them how to play music or mariachi music, we're showing them how to learn about the general concept of music through this genre of mariachi. So yeah.
Yeah, I love mariachi music. I love Santana. I love Santaneros. I love Lamp. I'm just kidding.
Question, so are you all gonna be performing at the upcoming mariachi festival?
We hope we can be part of all those events. We need to reach out to Parks and Recreation to collaborate with them because the only live public performance that we've had was because of these grants. We have noticed that the city Parks and Rec have hired other mariachis, and that's great. Hopefully we can collaborate with them soon, but we will not be part of that mariachi festival.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'd be really important for that. The other question I had was the corridos that you said you could, where can one listen to them?
So we don't have a like official like Apple Music or YouTube or anything like that. We need to work on something like that. So a little background story about our group. We've officially been as a group for like 3 to 4 years. It's very it's not solidified on paper, but on paper technically it's 3 years because of like the whole business license and all that. Because of that, we haven't invested time in going to a studio, recording albums, recording original music. Because mariachi music tends to be a lot of covers, which is unoriginal songs. We have invested more time in learning music that people already know. So we haven't had time to record original music yet. So that's why there's nowhere to hear it other than through a live performance, which we did with the grant.
Where did you perform it?
We performed mainly at the art walk. So what we did was a strolling mariachi. We would walk around through, especially Calle Cuatro. The main locations that we would end up at was at the Yos Promenade, the Artist Village, and on Broadway and Third on those street sides.
Oh, that's great. I missed it, but Commissioner Russell said that she saw y'all.
Oh, awesome.
So
That's great.
That's wonderful. Yeah, and last question,
Yes,
before I pass it back to my Commissioner Russell.
of course.
Like, so you work for the Santa Ana Unified School District as a music teacher?
Yes.
And I saw, do you recruit or do you like do mariachi music through that? Or and get folks from Santa Ana Unified to join this group?
So this is actually my first year. I recently got hired. I'm teaching pre-K to 4th grade. So what I'm mainly teaching is general music education. So the same way how you would teach like math and English and science, just very broad thing. I haven't showed them like very specific music, not even classical nor mariachi nor like popular music. I just want to give them a general basis. But my one of my mentors, Robin McNair, she has said, I would like to probably make some kind of curriculum. Let's create something based around mariachi. So that will be in the works later on in the future because of McNair.
I just have to add one more thing, which is there is a documentary out about mariachi. I believe it just came out this summer. It's on my list of things to watch over the holiday break. But that's where I believe they show that a lot of high school students, they study and they progress, and then they actually can wear like varsity leggings. So there's a certain formality I think that's come with it, and it's really exciting to see that students can get those accolades for this art form.
I have a lot to say, but I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I think the connection with Miss McNair is going to be fabulous, and I'm excited to see how you can leverage not only the understanding of the richness of mariachi music as a form, but also the cultural relevancy and uplifting the pride within it. I'm interested to learn more about the possibility of having you all perform more consistently throughout the city. And in upcoming events, particularly the mariachi one, and we can have an offline conversation if need be on that one. It's really exciting for me to see. I as someone who was born and raised here as well, I would love to see. I have all kinds of questions, right? And as a Tapatia, it makes me very, very, very proud to hear mariachi well done. But we don't say ahua. Just say ahua. But just, ¿qué pasó? I have See, I can't look at you right now, darling, but I'm interested to see, as my fellow commissioner was stating, where if you're not recording, how you can leverage, whether it be the relationships within the school district or other arts people within to record. And I know that there's other community mariachis in the Central Valley that do a lot of that, and I know them, so maybe that connection. So leveraging the resources that already exist in that, because I think if you're already capturing the beauty of these stories that are in corridos that are probably a lot healthier than what we sometimes hear, just the importance of that. So I'm interested in that. I'm interested in what the curriculum would look like, as well as how do we capture historically what the corridos are, because it is spoken word in another way.
I echo what my fellow commissioners said, and you know, this was an amazing performance. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I don't have any questions for you, but I think I'll leave with I think every other commission is jealous at how exciting our meetings are compared to theirs. So thank you so much for this. This is amazing, and I cannot wait to hear you live another time. Hopefully many times in the days to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Alex. And our second and final presentation will be made by Sakina Ibrahim from Dance Arts Academy.
That's good. Thank you so much for the time and the space and supporting me as an artist and supporting my foundation, Dance Arts Academy. I've taught all over the world, and when I found St. Annie 15 years ago, I found a special place because of the young people, because of the spirit of the young people and the families that they come from. So my background is in dances of the African diaspora. I did my master's at UCLA dance, and my research was centered on how to use dance as a tool of empowerment for marginalized youth. So that is my heart posture and pedagogy in the work that I do in the community and in my art making. So for this project, I have some slides here that I'm going to share based on a series of classes and workshops and performance. I'll go to the next slide. So this project allowed students to learn and perform cultural dances, including Afro and Mexican dance styles, traditional ballet folklorico, traditional African dance or West African dance and drums, and Senegalese drum master and Latin dance. The activities served as a form of civic engagement and artistic expression, fostering a sense of pride in students and their parents. Additionally, the project facilitated collaboration between students and the artists, enriching their cultural understanding, strengthening community ties. Have a saying in research to understand the culture of the people. Let's look at the arts. Afro and Latin cultural practices are oral, in essence, that allows a spiritual transcendence. Cultural identity helps instill confidence, perseverance, and cultivate community, specifically with young people and their families. So this is one of the programs I have called the Free Dance Day for Families. So families coming in really focus on building community, intergenerational connections, usually between moms and their daughters. My dog is also the photo. And I'm very blessed. I cannot do it by myself. So I'm teaching artists. This is Cindy Allen, who is here and who's also going to perform for us. So she helps to facilitate the classes in the community. Next slide. And this is one of our folklore performances, Italian schools, so we do partner with Italian schools to help instill those values in the students, culture, confidence, and community. That's our school outreach program. We see the summer. The students were able to perform for their families. Oh, they're adorable. Well, most days, right, Miss Cindy? There's like a fine line between like chasing them around the class and actually getting them into the classroom. But that's part of the bridge that we build, right? How they come in and learning the discipline of dance and learning the art and the culture. Not a standstill, to be honest. So I have some photos here of like really this grant was so important because it helped for me to bridge the gap and expand to the larger Afro and Latin community. And I felt that being able to bring Baba here is what we call like a drum master. I work with my students. Is transcendent. He talked about, because the question is, well, how is Mexican culture connected to African culture? So many, that's a PhD dissertation, which I won't give you today. But I know that it's there because when I traveled to Mexico, the experience is very similar. So that became very interesting to me. And I knew that I started doing African dance at 9 or 10 years old, what it did for my identity, my confidence, how I moved in the room, how I was able to see a path for myself, working with my students, and I knew they would move the same thing. So Baba was able to come and talk about drumming is our first language, right? Before there was words, there were sounds. He broke down all of these sounds and taught some of our parents. You see some of our parents there playing the drums and following the rhythm. And one thing I realized that despite our racial and ethnic differences, one thing we do have in common is a drum, right? And music and our culture. If it's Asian diaspora with the taiko drum, there's the African drum, there's always the drum, which reminds us that we all come from the same place. Yeah. And so we're instilling these values and this education. Some of our students would start at 5 years old and go all the way up to high school. We also shared some photos of engagement work. So we do just sort of reading the news of our families. This was a school supply drive that we did in partnership with UCLA. Just really helping that civic engagement part, right? So our students and families realize this isn't just about dance or entertainment. We're keeping busy after school, but this is an opportunity to learn servant leadership, right? And how this realize that we also give back. Next slide. So I have just an impact report here. So the Todos Unidos grant specifically was really to help facilitate the classes, workshops, as well as giving you an opportunity as an artist to perform. And sometimes you kind of like, it's and you're taking care of the other artists and the children, and you don't always get a chance to put your culture in and dance. So for Juneteenth, this past June, I was able to perform for students and families. I can't remember the name of the church, but it wasn't Santa Ana. That was the one we could afford. And so overall, we reached over 400 students and families with our programs. This grant supported Force and these artists, including Miss Cindy and myself, to teach, perform, and create work in the community. We support two international artists, Charlie from Senegal, as well as his assistant, to work with children and families in a workshop. For 2025, continuing the work of arts as a tool for empowerment. School drive, so check. Next coming up on December 14th, school drive for the holiday. Our spring showcase, that's a full performance for families to continue to see the children dance. We expand to 6 schools, to 600 students. Yes. And finally, we have a performance by the teaching artist, Miss Cindy O, who is a UC Irvine grad. And in the spirit of collaboration, they are going to play the music for us. Okay.
We all met today and we're like, oh, we can play that song for you. I'll give it 2, right? One, ready, and.
Thank you so much. And that is the power of the arts and being great at what you do, because we didn't practice together. So thank you, Cindy. Do you have any questions for me? I don't want to respond.
Yes, take your time. It's just such an honor to see you here. I've had the great pleasure of seeing you in action and seeing the relationships that you build with students and with the community. And I did not know you had been here for 15 years. That is new information. But I am I feel so honored that both you've been part of this grant process, and it's enabled you to expand your art making beyond, the walls of the school and the walls of the studio. And I am so proud that you're also here in our downtown and a vibrant part of the arts culture here.
Thank you very much. It is truly an honor. So thank you all for your time and space. Again,
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, yeah, you're right, a whole dissertation on the connection of African music and the influences on the world, but really, Mexican culture. And it's something that I know a lot of folks, educators, friends of mine, and people, are very intentional about letting their students know about those bonds and those connections, and to not erase, this history of course, African slaves, that were taken, brought into Latin America, that created the beautiful music that comes from Puerto Rico and Colombia and even Mexico with, the son jarocho and so much influences. So yeah, I think it's so important for the work that you're doing, and that cross cultural collaboration is exactly the kind of beautiful ecosystem of creativity that we're creating here in Santa Ana. So I'm happy. I did not know that you're the one that has a beautiful space in that corner on Main. So I'm so happy that such amazing things are happening there with this body's help.
thank you so much. That space is owned by Miss Ginger. I'm really grateful for it because when I first lost my space, I didn't know which tram I was crying to. But I was like, I need a space. I have kids and we need to dance and I don't know what to do. And she had recommended Soul on Fire. So we've been there 3 years now. And it is wonderful. A lot of artists get to run the space and collaborate there. So thank you.
I didn't want to bring this up, but as we reflect on the national politics and how the implications that some of those dynamics have for our youth, for our communities, and especially our marginalized communities, I just want to applaud you also for helping to bring awareness about the relationships between different cultures and different ethnicities and the histories of those things. Because while we have made a lot of inroads to promote ethnic studies and sort of share more stories, I don't think it's sort of a little bit outside the bounds, I think, of where ethnic studies stands today. And so I just want to applaud you for being at the vanguard of some of that work, and I hope it expands.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for demonstrating the power of the work that you do, and for sharing some of the impact that you facilitated through your classes. I again cannot wait to see how all 400 and more of these wonderful students are going to grow up into be really confident Santaneros who know what their home is, where their home is, and what that is supposed to mean, what values that carries with them.
Yes.
So thank you so much for the work that you do and for coming to present here tonight.
Thank you. My pleasure. Miss Cindy, do you have anything you want to share before we close out?
For over 4 years.
Yeah.
And I just actually came back from a class that I was teaching. So there's amazing students who get this opportunity to be able to dance. At least when I was growing up, I didn't have I lived in a community that didn't have the same opportunities as here. Dance classes were like $300 a month, like huge prices that a lot of students, especially now in this economy, can't afford. So it just puts a lot of relief on them that there's these type of opportunities. So I just think that's something to show, look into, especially for next mission year.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm CCI, and that's how I got down to Orange County, and I've been here ever since.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Have a good night.
One thing for us to potentially consider. Seeing the really wonderful collaboration that happened really organically here today, would it be possible for us to do like a convening of the artist grantees? A really informal one, just for them to figure out how to make connections with one another and collaborate. I think that's something we should explore.
And all the other ones, so I
Yeah.
love that.
Definitely.
I second that. I know we're not voting on it. I second that.
Yeah. And it would be great to also, you know, make sure that the council has, you know, the opportunity to see or hear about this. So perhaps it's incumbent upon us as commissioners to, you know, go and speak in front of the city council during public comments, but even if having the ability for them to share a little bit as well would be important, because this is how we continue to get the funds. You know, these are not promised funds, and you know, as we face financial cliffs, you know, in the future, the ability for us to advocate for arts rather than overly spending on public safety are those kinds of questions that we're going to have, and so that's where being able to show what has been done with our money and how it's improved our community and the health and mental and otherwise is really important to continue to get more funds for these kinds of projects.
If I may add, Commissioner Hernandez, I think it's very incumbent on us to note that arts and culture are a preventive measure to a lot of the ailments that we see in communities feeling marginalized. So to elevate that as a way to mitigate and really address things that could potentially lead to the issues that we sometimes see in our beautiful city. So I'm with you. Elevating the arts as a way to create a sense of belonging, pride in our city would be very, very powerful. And that's why I want to go back to the corridos, right? If we can capture the stories from the people, their experiences, I think, again, lifting those voices would yield just beautiful things. So the school district has recording studios.
Yeah, and I'm not going to preempt my future plans, but let's talk about recording, because I have folks that have done it, are planning to do a recording studio. So yeah, let's get you on ASAP. But I follow you all on Instagrams. Is that the way to reach out to you? Perfect. Cool.
I can't forget there are people who could be reporting on this very bias. They're recording this.
And as one more comment about just the presentations as a whole, though there's no audience members, I just want to let it be known that like these presentations are really, really helpful for us as a commission, panelists who look at these grants to really understand what the work is that is being proposed to us is. A lot of times on paper, it doesn't necessarily come to life. It doesn't fully make sense, but these presentations make the experience so felt that I think these are such a wonderful way of demonstrating to the commission and to the public what these projects really do, what these projects' impact is. All right. And if there are no other comments on this work study session, the second item under work study session is BO guideline discussion.
Yes.
May we, just in the interest of time, because I know that Commissioner Guerra has expressed that she has another meeting right after this, so.
I have a 7 o'clock that I can start the minute I step out of here.
Okay, so then can we move and do the business calendar first?
Okay, we'll move to business calendar. So we'll have one item under business calendar, item number 3, investing in the artist grant recommendations for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Will staff report on the matter?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So this year, we had a wonderful turnout. So even with less money, less funding, this year we only have 200 only, but it's really nice. It's $200,000. And I'm comparing it to last year where we had $332,500 to distribute. This year, 47 applied versus last year, 38 applied. And this year, with less money, we still gave more to more people, more recipients at 24. Last year, we gave 23 recipients with more money. So everybody got a little less money, but more people received funding. I believe the panel wanted to support more, yes, more organizations, more individual artists with less money. Let's see, so this year, there was a total of 18 individual artists applied, 6 received funding, and 47 organizations replied, 18 received funding. And it was also, what's that? Like, we could guess that this was going to be very successful because 146 people attended the mandatory information sessions. So that was a lot. So from that number to have 47 apply is really good. Okay, so bear with me, but I will read through the entire list of 24 recipients just to put it out there to the public who are listening and to put it on record. So I'm going to go through first the 6 individual artists, starting with the top score, Modesto Briseño, who received $4,550. He received funding for a free workshop series offering hands-on learning experience for technical skills and knowledge behind live events, including audio equipment, industry standard techniques, and live sound engineering for the participants' personal entertainment or starting a business. It will be culminating in a free show to the public where workshop participants can apply the skills they learned. Oh, and to preface this also, what the panel was looking for is that the applicants needed to fulfill 2 requirements of the theme. So they had to adhere to the theme, and there are 2 parts to it. The first part is that there was a community development connection to the arts, a direct community development connection. And the second one would be a true participatory component, not just engagement, but participation, where the audience or the participants would be involved in the creation of the final product and not merely just a workshop. So that was the first criteria that they were looking at. If the grant or the proposal did not meet one or the other, then the scores reflected that. And so these are the ones that were directly fulfilling those criteria. The second individual artist recipient is Margot Alaman, who received $2,900. The proposal was for a year-round free little art gallery at Plaza Calle 4 in downtown Santa Ana, encouraging new and upcoming artists to exchange art, she would include free art supplies and printed bilingual instructions to minimize economic and social barriers. Third recipient is Ileana Zepeda de Leon, who received $7,000, who will be receiving the proposals for a free bilingual ceramic classes in a local residential neighborhood on Bishop Street, culminating in an art show with the art pieces created. All supplies, materials, and equipment will be provided to eliminate economic barriers to this cost-heavy art form. She will also fire up all the ceramics made for the participants. The fourth recipient is Jose Mascaro, who just left, his group will be receiving $5,000. The proposal is for a collaboration with local small businesses to create a mariachi show experience, enhancing downtown Santa Ana's culture scene while driving customers to these businesses. The fifth recipient is Damon Lujan, who will be receiving $3,000. His proposal is to collaborate with local business owner from El Indio to create on the side of the store facing North Pacific Avenue, an underserved neighborhood in Ward 5 that would represent the large Michoacan population in the surrounding area. And the sixth and final individual artist is Brennan Roach, who was funded $2,000. His proposal is a month-long art exhibition at OCA, the Orange County Center for Contemporary Art, featuring William White, an Emmy Award-winning multidisciplinary artist known for Pee Wee's Playhouse set design and Smashing Pumpkin music video, and collaborating with the Frida Cinema to show the Moon White's documentary, Beauty is Embarrassing, followed by a Q&A with the director. They make some notes about this typo. Okay, moving on to the nonprofit arts organization. The first one is Delhi Center, who was funded $14,000. The proposal is a one-on-one literacy tutoring summer camp. Oh, not summer camps through the summer with creative expression through visual arts, serving elementary students in Santa Ana to uplift them from generational poverty. The second organization is the Frida Cinema, who was funded $14,000. The proposal is for youth internship to create 48 short promo films showcasing economic and cultural contributions of local artists, art organizations, and art-focused small businesses. Films will be shown through social media, e-newsletters, website, and during pre-screening advertising reels when they show their films. The third organization is the Vietnamese American Arts and Letters Association. They will be receiving $14,000 for a 14-week youth workshop for emerging filmmakers with a pathway for a career in film. Final film shorts will be screened at Viet Film Fest at the Frida Cinema. The fourth organization is Dance Music Initiative, who will be receiving $14,000. The proposal is for 40 free weekly DJ classes with 10 additional special events throughout the year, teaching participants DJ fundamentals, emphasizing dance music culture and DJing by ear on vinyl. Interesting that this person also compared DJing to learning classical music or being trained in the classics. These skills can be transferred to building your own business and or teaching future musicians. The next organization is Thrive Santa Ana Inc., who will be receiving $14,000. The proposal is to partner with muralist Alicia Siu to create a 20 feet by 50 feet collaborative community mural addressing economic inequities in the cultural sector. Final artwork will be installed at the Walnut and Daisy Microfarm or La Gourmania, community-owned economic development space. The project will culminate in a community celebration. Next arts nonprofit organization is the Orange County Children's Therapeutic Arts Center. They will be receiving $10,000 for a mural painting program where students learn, research, and design 5 murals exploring their neighborhood's artistic, cultural, and economic strengths. The murals will be displayed around the city. The next organization is Pacific Symphony, who will be receiving $10,000 for a year-long music mentorship program, providing coaching and individual lessons by union orchestra musicians for Santa Ana high school students to engage in musical activities, plan for college and or music careers, and develop skills for the workforce. The next organization is Breath of Fire Latina Theater Ensemble. You'll be receiving $14,000. The proposals for free classes and workshops helping the Santa Ana community tell and document their stories. Additionally, a professional development workshop for applying the techniques that they learned during their theater class into the workplace. The next organization is Heritage Museum of Orange County, who will be receiving $14,000. The proposals for 6-month scholarships and transportation for 6 Title I Santa Ana elementary schools, which amounts to about 360 students to participate in the sewing of a friendship quilt with an end-of-year exhibition passing. This will also help pass on this vanishing skill of quilting. Next organization is Green MPNA, who will be receiving $10,000. The proposal is for a local artist-led mural workshop and community painting in Madison Park neighborhood along the walls of the bike trail, illustrating cultural traditions and storytelling that will promote and increase the value of the neighborhood. Next organization is Relámpago del Grupo Folclórico. Will be receiving $7,000. The proposal is to celebrate Relámpago's 50th anniversary with a free pre-show dance and folk art workshops for the public, followed by a free professional dance, music, and folk art concert at Centennial Region Park, promoting food and crafts from local artisans. The next organization is Hope Community Services, who will be receiving $7,000. The proposal is for a free art program that includes circle painting and flower arrangement classes, inviting marginalized communities to tackle economic disparities in the cultural sector. The final artworks and arrangements will be displayed at the Neighborhood Cultural Festival. The next organization is the Girl Scouts of Orange County, who will be receiving $7,000. The proposals for free professional ballet folklorico dance classes, including the funding will also include for dress and shoes to perform at 6 city events throughout the year. The Girl Scout membership fees will be paid for through this grant and transportation provided to eliminate financial barriers for the participants. This Girl Scout dance program of over 25 years builds confidence, discipline, a strong sense of identity, and critical leadership skills that serve them in the workforce and throughout their lives. The next organization is the Orange County Crazies Incorporated, who will be receiving $7,000. The proposals for a free weekly stand-up comedy and improv workshop for youths, adults, and seniors, culminating in a year-end performance by the participants, providing them with opportunities to segue into a career in entertainment. Next organization is Project Kinship. They will be receiving $3,050. The proposals for an 8-week photography workshop serving system-impacted and incarcerated youths, including one-on-one mentorship with professional creatives. They will be provided with disposable cameras and will showcase their art at Project Kinship's new office in Santa Ana. Next organization is Orange County Environmental Justice. Let me see. I don't have the whole organization written out. OCEJ of Orange County. Orange County Environmental Justice Educational Fund. They will be receiving $5,000. And the proposals for free art and activism-based workshops, creating 1,000 seed bomb kits to remove lead from the soil in typically low-income neighborhoods, co-created by a local artist and with residents from surrounding community. Selected residents will be paid a stipend to facilitate community-led workshops. And additionally, youth-specific workshops will tie in soil-led comic books, zines, and scavenger hunts. Project will culminate in a workbook summarizing the curriculum and knowledge, as well as an event with an open mic night, all free to the public. The next organization is Backhouse Dance, who will be receiving $7,000. The proposals for free performances and interactive workshops in collaboration with OCA, again, the Orange County Center for Contemporary Art, to create new choreography that responds to the artwork of Santa Ana-based artists and architecture of the gallery, immersing and involving audience in an innovative fusion of dance, visual art, music, and space. Arts residency will target Santa Ana residents, drawing new audiences to the area to support local businesses. And finally, the Cambodian family will be receiving $4,500. The proposals for free Khmer Espada dance classes for children, including an introduction to Cambodia, that will feature people, culture, and language. The Cambodian language is Khmer, culminating in a performance during the free annual Khmer New Year Festival, which will showcase dance, music, and spoken word performances, as well as provide social, health, and economic resources to the community. And I do have to say that there was a number of new recipients that have never received funding from the city before. First of all, never receiving funding from the artist grant. They might have started through the sponsorship program, actually, which helped them refine their program and whatnot in order to be able to apply successfully through the artist grant. And some folks haven't received any funding at all, neither through the artist grant nor sponsorship program. So that's been very successful this year. Okay, any questions?
Just to clarify, in case I might have missed it, there was no funding for event sponsorships this year, correct?
No, yes.
So we've lost that
Yeah.
pipeline toward a much better project.
Yes.
While we're gathering our thoughts, I'll share some of my reflections as the commissioner who was on the panel this time. So I wanted to start with first the themes of like participatory art and projects that really have thoughtful
thoughtful plans for how to stimulate the local economic development. We did receive a number of applications that were not very thoughtful, more superficial, just said that it would bring in tourism and therefore it would develop the economy. And so the panel this time was more thoughtful on exactly how the explanation of how this would actually either give skills to people locally, buy or source talent or hire people or source materials locally. So that was a very core component of this. And the other part of it was how engaging was it? Not just are people having fun watching, not just it's an event that people are participating in, but how much are they participating in creating, being a part of the art itself? And through, I mean, you see here, there's 24 people who were entities that received the grant this time out of 47, which means that there were a number, about half, that were not able to be thoughtful enough. And I encourage any of those applicants to take more time on the applications themselves. One thing in particular that I want people to really be wary of is relying too much on AI for your proposals. I don't necessarily have proof, but I've read enough proposals and I've seen enough AI generated text to recognize certain patterns. And those typically tended to be weaker applications in general because it didn't have the thought, like the meat of the application wasn't there to really give life to it. So those were two primary criteria making up 40% of the total points possible. And I really want to say that this continues to be such an important program that our commission is able to offer to the community to really bridge that gap between our city, what we do as a commission, and how that impacts our community. So I'll pass it along. Does anyone have any questions for staff?
So I have a couple of comments, but one question, and I'll just kind of point to one of the awardees as an example, but I'm really curious about the economic development or community development, economic development, right? Is that the sort of, those are synonymous?
No, economic development specifically.
Okay. All right, I'll reserve that question then. I do want to address the comment about AI. Only because for those of us who do work in fields where AI is being used and leveraged, and I know a lot of folks who are applying in Santa Ana may not have English as a first language, and I would hate to communicate to any applicants that if they turn to a source like AI to help boost, their confidence and what they imagine might be the quality of the application, I would just hate to send a message that we were discouraging that. And so I just feel very sensitive about that topic. So I want to make sure that's for the record that we are not, we want people to use the resources that are available in the community or available in the world for them to access, so that they feel like they're putting professional. I totally understand the level of quality that was there. I do want to comment also that I'd love to see the interdisciplinary projects where like there's gardening and murals or the seed bombs. I think that's really a signal of enhanced creativity that's maybe happening because we're offering these projects or because of the proposal content. And that's all I have for now.
Yeah, I think a lot of I recognize a lot of these organizations and they do great work. So I mean, I'm very happy that these folks got funds, and happy to know that the pipeline built from the event sponsorships that we knew was not guaranteed funds, was able to catapult folks into these higher level grant writing that gets you these funds. And the fact of the matter is if you want to make continue to get funding, you have to become a better writer or partner yourself up with people that do this for a living. So, you know, or you know, you just have to, it's part, so you just can't just be a good creator. You have to be able to tell your story and present it in a way that, you know, gets the ability to get funded. I very much agree with Chair Vu on the over reliance on AI being a problem in our society. So and you know, and just the need to be able to just know how to tell your own story. And you know, use tools to be able to refine it, but when the whole thing is being written by AI, then that's when it's a problem, and I know that's what Chair Vu was referring to. But you know, by my house, Green MPNA, I'm like, I always see our former commissioner there. You know, and I wait to him. I was like, "Hey, man, so when are you gonna come join us? You know, to do some murals?" I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta work, man. I'm sorry, you know." But I'm happy that, you know, that they're doing. I was fortunate enough to, you know, participate with Breath of Fire recently with the Corridos event. You know, and you know, as one of the grantees was talking about, like sometimes you're so focused on provide, you know, like helping others create their art that you forget that you yourself are an artist and you are a creator and need to create. So yeah, there's all sorts of plans I have for next year, and as far as my creative endeavors that can't wait to share with everyone. But with Envala, I've known them for years. Literally, when I first came to the city 12 years ago, I would go to you know, their open mics, and where I met so many amazing folks there from the Vietnamese community that were, you know, activists and also, you know, artivists, as we came to understand them. So yeah, and for all the folks that can, you know, I just hope that we can continue to fund these and secure these much needed funds to provide for the groups that came here to perform, and all the other ones that we know of. So thank you.
The last comment I will make is just one thing is that I want applicants for this round as well as future rounds to understand that we really encourage for city funds not to be the only source of funding for the projects that you're proposing, because we want to ensure that your projects are as sustainable as possible, which means that you have a diversity of funding sources, so you can continue this whether or not the funding from our commission is guaranteed. So that's the reason why we, when I looked at the budgets, I looked in particular at what percentage of this grant would, like the percentage of the grant funding versus the total budget for the project overall. So just another thing to keep in mind when applying for these. But with that, do I have a motion to approve item number 3, investing in the artist grant recommendations for fiscal year 2024 to 25?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Sorry, who motion?
Thank you, Commissioner Lopez Guerra for the motion and Commissioner Russell for the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Matter approved by unanimous consent. Thank you, Commissioners. All right, and now we are moving back to work study session. The second item under work study session is mural guidelines discussion. And this is regarding the mural art guidelines.
Then do we have to call? Yeah, then we just.
Okay, we will table this and then do we just go to the end?
Or if you have a few minutes. If you have a few minutes, Commissioner Guerra, maybe you can summarize, you know, like what the subcommittee has come up with for the future.
If that's acceptable, Chair.
Just summarize, yeah.
Yes, I can do this in 30 seconds. So basically, the mural art guidelines we intend it to be a living document. It is not mandatory. It is not requirements to strictly follow. These are guidelines. They are recommendations. And so we've gone through several rounds of revision at this point. We will be posting it onto the city website for 2 months to gather feedback from stakeholders, residents, artists. There will be a Google form for people to be able to submit their feedback to be taken into consideration for future versions of this living document. And that is it.
And so with that,
Well, staff has no comments. We're good.
shall we move past commissioner comments or?
I can make quite a few comments, but I don't think we can have them if we are down one commissioner, correct?
Unless she's willing and you can do it really quickly. To you.
Both Commissioner or Vice Chair Hernandez and I both requested information about the Mural Restoration Fund a few months back. And I just wanted to know if you could update us as a commission on first of all, how much funding is available, when it takes effect, and any other information that is important, particularly in regard to the mural guidelines, the relationship with mural guidelines.
Oh, that would have to be put on agendized, if we were gonna go into discussion.
So I would like an update for the commission, particularly since both of us were inquiring about that. And I believe it was from an artist in the community who requested that information multiple months ago. I also have been talking to artists who work in performing arts, and there is a new law, I believe, I might have that word wrong, but where performing artists must pay their artists, like so teaching artists, for instance, through Cal Paymaster. And I think there is maybe a discrepancy between how we accept invoices for our teaching artists and what they are required by law to be in compliance with California law. So I just want to make sure that we are in compliance with their needs because they can't, operate outside of this Cal Paymaster situation. And I've been talking to very stressed out artists who,
Well, we were just that, so we're accepting those fees that those organizations incur because of this new law.
Okay, I would love to see that in like writing of some kind on future grant applications or something like that, just so that if there were a performing arts organization, they're aware that there's no question marks, so that these funds would be invoiceable, if you will. Also, the Sawaya City Sister City Mural, I know there was sort of like an RF, or there was a notification about it, and then it changed, and I just wanted an update on that for a future meeting. Then, yes, or and I'd love to be able to talk about Art Walk at a future time.
Yeah, I just want to thank my commissioners for being here today. We have been not meeting since July, which makes me sad. And so I know that I missed one of them, and then everybody else missed others. But also that's when we work, we need to fill a couple of seats. So that's homework for us. And for the council members, that is their job to do appointments and stuff. So yeah, and I hope everybody has a very happy have family gatherings and holiday celebrations with loved ones, eating tamales and all sorts of poultry dishes. Yes, thank you.
With no other comments, this meeting is officially adjourned. The next regular meeting will be scheduled in 2025. Because we will not have any meetings in December 2024. It will be announced. Thank you, everyone.